I never can decide whether to turn the music down or take the graphic away. Which should come first? It's really the graphic should go and then the music play down. But anyway, welcome to Saturday, June the 20th, 2026. This is the Dr. Sem Yankees show. Let's make today a great day. And how do you make your day great? Well, it's simple. You look around you and you notice the good. And you take that good and you bring it inside and cherish it. And you say, there's so much good. There are so many good things in this world. How could I not have a great day? But some people will say, Dr. Sem, there's no good. I can't find anything good. There is nothing at all good. There's not one iota of goodness. And if that's the case in your life, that's sad. But that does not have to be the end of it. No, not at all. If there is no good in your life, you still have the ability to create good. You can make good. Do something nice for someone else. It's that simple. If you create good, then there's goodness in the world, and you can bring that goodness into you and hold on to it and cherish it and appreciate it. Appreciation is one of the most important aspects of living a great life. The more we appreciate, the less we focus on ourselves and the more we focus on others. But when you have that goodness, give it away. Share it with others. Give them love and kindness and respect and understanding. Remember, when we give love, it comes back to us in greater amounts than we ever gave. All right, let's talk a little New York Yankees. My goodness, what is going on with the Yankees? You know, for years and years and years, on many different programs with many different hosts and friends, we have been decrying the Yankees. And we've been talking about June swoons. And all of a sudden, here we are. We have this team, the New York Yankees, the first place New York Yankees, 3 games over Tampa Bay right now, 46 wins, 28 losses. And they are, in a word, rolling. They beat the Red Sox 6-1. Then they beat the Guardians 7-5. Then they beat the Guardians 3-2. Then they beat the Guardians 8-4. And then they played the Blue Jays and they lost 8-5. See, here it comes. They're going to lose. Then they beat the Blue Jays 3-1. Then they beat the Blue Jays 8-3. Then they beat the White Sox 12-2. Then they beat the White Sox 10-5. Then they lost the game to the White Sox. And then last night they beat the Reds 5-0. Holy cow. They're doing this without Trent Grisham. They're doing this without Max Fried. They're doing this without Giancarlo Stanton. But most of all, they're doing this without the great Aaron Judge. What? Wait. What? It's June and the Yankees are in first place and they're not barely hanging on. They're just, oh my goodness, if they just could win a game, that's not happening. They're holding on with muscle and strength. They're dominating right now, and they're dominating at the exact moment when don't tell me I knew they'd do well. When Judge went down and Fried went out, I knew. I just said, because this is what so many people do. They so much want to be correct that they just make stuff up. You know, I was the guy who said as soon as Max Fried went down that was going to propel the Yankees to winning. I was the guy who said when Aaron Judge got hurt and they predict him being out for most of the year, that was going to be the impetus to the Yankees' success. Nobody said that. This is the exact opposite of what we're expecting for June. We are expecting, or had been expecting, as Yankee fans, to be decrying the fact that they're not deep, that Brian Cashman didn't do a good job building this team. Their catching is terrible. Their shortstop is terrible. Their outfielders can't play worth a lick. Trent Grisham's terrible. Spencer Jones is overrated. Jason Dominguez isn't what he could have been. This is what we were expecting to say. Aaron Boone can't manage. They just keep losing. Nothing is working. And here it is, 20 days into June, 2/3 of the month already completed, and the Yankees just don't lose. They just keep winning and winning and winning. And you know what? It is a pleasure. It is a pleasure to come on here on an early Saturday morning and say, holy cow. It's fun to watch the Yankees. Yankee fans have been wanting this for so long. We've been wanting a season where things just seem to fall into place, where even the bad news doesn't become bad, and they somehow find a way to win. And that's what they're doing. They just keep winning. I'm going to write this in an article next week. I was thinking of this as I was watching the middle innings in the game last night. All of a sudden, all these young players have arrived and are really making an impact. Spencer Jones, Jason Dominguez, dare I say, and we're going to talk about him in a minute or two, probably 5 minutes the way this goes. Maybe I won't even get to it, but Anthony Volpe, Will Warren, Ben Rice, Cam Schlittler. Like all of a sudden, there's all these young Yankees that are doing pretty well, very well, or exceptionally well. It's possible the Yankees could have the Cy Young Award winner this year and the MVP. That's possible. And they could be two different players. It could be Ben Rice, American League Most Valuable Player, Cam Schlittler, American League Cy Young Award winner. Now, that again is something most people, I would say 99.99999, except people who decide to just make crazy predictions that they hope come true once every 1,000 years. If I said, or asked Yankee fans before the year to name the 2026 Cy Young Award winner and the 2026 MVP, and both of those players had to come from the Yankees, very few, if any, would say, well, the Cy Young Award winner will definitely be Cam Schlittler and the MVP will be Ben Rice. Nobody would say that. Nobody was going to say that. They would have said, well, Aaron Judge will be the MVP, no doubt. Maybe someone would have said Cody Bellinger. Maybe someone would have said Jazz Chisholm. And a tiny, teeny percentage might have said Ben Rice. Maybe he's going to finally, or not even finally, but maybe he's going to take his game to the next level this year after having a really good year last year. But I don't think anybody expected what he's done thus far. And if I said, and the Cy Young Award winner is going to come from the Yankees, maybe they would have said Garrett Cole will come back and dominate. Or maybe they would have said, well, Max Fried's so good. Very, very few people would have said, well, I think it'll be Cam Schlittler. No doubt about that. And I said, and if I would have asked, you need to pick both the MVP and the Cy Young Award winner, I can't imagine many people would have said, well, Ben Rice and Cam Schlittler, but they're doing it. But here's the ironic thing. For years, we have been talking about the window. This is what I'll write about in a couple of days in a Perspectives article, that the window for Aaron Judge is closing. The chance for Aaron Judge to be on a World Series championship team is closing. It's closing fast. It's closing quicker than anyone wants to admit. It's looking like Aaron Judge might be the Yankee who is the greatest Yankee who never won a World Series. That all that can still be true, of course, but the window all of a sudden is opening. And the ironic thing, life can be ironic and strange, and you just never know. And again, that's why we watch sports, because anything can happen, and that's the fun. But the window is opening, and the one guy who we expected to be part of it, Aaron Judge, isn't part of it. He's injured. Now, we hope he comes back. Of course we do. But wouldn't it be something if the Yankees finally have a championship team, and the one guy who really wasn't part of it for most of the year was Aaron Judge? It's because they have this team right now that looks exceptionally deep. The players are coming around. So let me give you some numbers. Listen, I don't care about being right. I think most of my takes over the last many years have been correct. I think if somebody were to do, not that anyone would, but if someone were to do a quantitative analysis of the predictions of Paul Semendinger over the last many years since Start Spreading the News became a Yankee site in 2017, I think they'd say, he's probably at about 85, 90%. I don't know the numbers. Maybe it's 75%, but most of what I predicted has come pretty true. I was not for giving DJ LeMahieu that big contract. That was right. I was not for bringing Aaron Boone in as the manager. That's been right. Now, he might win it this year, but it's been a long time before he's been able to figure out how to get the Yankees to win. On and on. So when I make a take, when I give my opinion, I think I'm going to be right. But I'm not one of these guys who says, well, I have to be right. I'll change what I said in order to prove I'm right. No, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I will freely admit when I'm wrong. And right now, right this minute, I'm going to give you a number. 1 for 4. Not overly impressive, but not bad. And I'm going to give you another number. 100. Not great, but not bad. Right now, the Yankees have a shortstop whose batting average, I was just looking at it, I couldn't find it for a second there, is 250. 250. That's 1 for 4. He has 80 at-bats and 20 hits. And that guy's name is Anthony Volpe. He's actually hitting, but it's more than that. Over the last week, Anthony Volpe is hitting. No. He's not hitting 300. Come on. No. It's the other way. He's not hitting over 400. Come on. Over the last week, Anthony Volpe is hitting 538. 538. The kid is on fire. And all of a sudden you start to think, has he finally figured it out? Over his last 2 weeks, he's hitting 300. Over the last 28 days, he's still hitting 263. Is it possible, finally, that Anthony Volpe is ascending to be a quality major league player? His OPS plus which, if it's 100, is league average. And if it's under 100, it's below league average. His OPS plus for the season, right this moment, is 104. He has been an above average, barely, an above average hitter. And until this hot streak, it looked like he wouldn't be. Maybe I was wrong about Anthony Volpe in his 4th season. Maybe he's turning it around. Maybe he's turned it around. Again, we're all rooting for Anthony Volpe. Some people say, why the Volpe hate? It's not Volpe hate. It's until recently the kid couldn't hit as a major leaguer. And my goal as a Yankee fan, my wish, my desire is for the Yankees to win. And for the Yankees to win, they need a shortstop who hits. And if Anthony Volpe isn't hitting, that takes away from the Yankees' chances of winning. And when he wasn't playing good defense and leading the league in errors, that took away the Yankees' chances of winning. But all of a sudden, he made a couple of nice plays last night. He's hitting. Could it be that it just took Anthony Volpe a little longer to become a quality major leaguer than we all expected? Maybe. He's doing it right now. He's helping the Yankees win right now. And I will be happy to say all the criticism of Anthony Volpe, it was correct at the time, all of the criticism of Anthony Volpe goes away. Like, you know what? I said he couldn't make it as a major leaguer. It seemed as though he couldn't make it as a major leaguer. I will be thrilled to be able to say, if I can, I was wrong. I would love to say that. A couple more quick hot takes. But first, my dear friends, let's take a moment and remember the great publisher, Artemisia Publishing. Artemisia publishes a huge selection of great books. Numerous books in their vast collection were written by me. And I encourage you to go out and get copies of these great books, like The Least Among Them, 365.2 Going the Distance, From Compton to the Bronx, Scattering the Ashes, and my latest book, which is just still getting rave reviews, The Greatest New York Yankees by Uniform Number. Get a copy of this. You pick it up, you flip a couple pages, you read a couple numbers. Well, once you start, you can't put it down. You read the whole book. But you start flipping, you're like, who was the greatest Yankee at number 73? Who was the greatest Yankee at 52? Who was the greatest Yankee wearing number 7? Well, that one's easy, but you get the idea. Such a fun book. Take a look. Let's talk a little quickly here, my friends. So go to Artemisia Publishing, apbooks.net to get The Least Among Them, yes, but The Greatest New York Yankees by Uniform Number and many other fine books, not just written by me. Though, let's be honest, what could be a better thing to do for Father's Day and any day than to buy 5, 10, 100 different books, copies of maybe the same books that I wrote? Go out and do that. Remember, the greatest novel ever written in the history of forever is Scattering the Ashes. If you haven't read it yet, you need to. It'll complete your life in so many ways. It'll make your life that much better. It'll teach you to appreciate. It'll teach you to love. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry. It is the greatest novel ever written. Take a look at that book. All right. So back to the Yankee stuff. Remember, we are part of the Start Spreading the News Yankee site. That is my Yankee site, the greatest Yankee site that's out there. Let's talk a little about Cam Schlittler. This guy, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. He leads the league in WAR pitchers, 3.8. He leads the league in ERA at 1.82. He leads the league in ERA plus at 230. Now, we're talking about Anthony Volpe's got his OPS plus just over 100, which is great because for most of his career, it's been in the 80s, which is terrible. If your ERA plus is 100, you're a league average pitcher. If it's 120, you're really good. If it's 150, you're amazing. If it's 200, you're like Cy Young and Walter Johnson and Bob Gibson and Sandy Koufax and Lefty Grove and Pedro Martinez, right? Like, that's crazy. Cam Schlittler's ERA plus right now is 230. We're talking upper stratosphere. 15 games, 7 wins, 3 losses. In 89 innings, he struck out 96 batters. But he's only walked 18. He's walked only 18 guys. Wow. Now, who knows if he can continue pitching like this? When he pitches, he reminds me a lot of Garrett Cole. They seem to have the same mannerisms. They sort of look alike. I mean, he has been amazing. He has been tremendous. One sad thing, and it's not sad, it's just the game has changed. After he got his 12th or 13th strikeout last night, the Yankees put up a graphic, most strikeouts in a single game in Yankees history. And I remember as a kid watching the Guidry 18 strikeout game. I was watching it on a teeny tiny screen on this camping Panasonic TV that we bought because when we traveled as a family, we mostly camped. And we got a little tiny TV to bring to a campsite. No cable, all over the air with an antenna. But I was watching it on channel 11, which was over the air on this little tiny TV, watching Ron Guidry get those 18 strikeouts. I was 10 years old, I guess, or I was 9 turning 10. It was in June of 78. So I wasn't quite 10 yet. I was 9. I'd be 10 in a couple of weeks. And they put that graphic up last night. And Schlittler, had he pitched a complete game, might have had a chance to break that record. But that's just not the way the game is played today, which in a sense is sad. As soon as I saw that graphic, I looked up to see how many pitches Cam Schlittler had thrown, and he was already at 90, 92, 89, something like that. And I said, there's no chance. He can't get that record. He can't get that record because he's not going to be able to stay in the game long enough. Now, as it turns out, immediately after putting up that graphic, Schlittler basically started to show that he was getting tired. His pitches were missing the mark, and he was starting to show signs of fatigue. And so they wouldn't have kept him in anyway at that point. But it is kind of sad when the game changes a little bit, and pitchers today aren't allowed, aren't trained, aren't built up to be able to accomplish those types of things like they did in the past. Quick note on Spencer Jones. 19 games played. He's hitting .245. He struck out 23 times in 19 games. We all expected that. But, he's doing better than I thought he would. I thought he'd be a strikeout machine. I thought he'd be averaging 2 strikeouts a game. So he has 23 strikeouts in 19 games. I would have predicted in his first 19 games he would have had 38 strikeouts or close to 38. Let's say 35 strikeouts. That's sort of what his minor league numbers indicated would happen. Since he's come back to the major leagues, there's a lot less movement in his batting stance. He's not up and down and up and down. He's down. I don't necessarily love the stance, but if it works, what do I care? But he's not moving all over the place, and the results are coming. Wouldn't it be something if Spencer Jones turned out to be the real deal? Couple last notes here, my friends. I was going to get into something. I'll put it in the Perspectives article. Go to Start Spreading the News next week. You'll see. It has to do with not necessarily plagiarism. It has to do with borrowing content. My dear friends out there, if you like the content, and I hope you do, here or on Start Spreading the News from me or any of the writers, we were taught you don't take someone else's ideas and pass them off as your own. We just don't do that. That's called plagiarism. If you're going to take an idea that we wrote about, one of our original ideas or original takes, it's out there. You can do that. But the right thing to do is to give credit where the idea came from. Hey, you know what? I saw this on Start Spreading the News. Paul Semendinger wrote or came up with, or the editors of Start Spreading the News, or Tim Cable, or Andy Singer, or Ed Body, or Carrie Green, or James Filestra, or Andrew Hefner, or John Nielsen, or E.J. Fagan, or whomever on Start Spreading the News came up with this great idea. And I modified it, or I'm going to use my take on that idea. But over the years, it happens more than you'd think. People see our ideas, and then they write their own articles, and they pretend like those ideas are theirs. Oh, I had this great idea. Or you hear our perspectives on the radio, or in broadcasts, or in different places. If you're going to borrow our content, go at it. Have fun with it. But give credit. Give credit. It's the right thing to do. So I'll get into that in an article. I'm not going to talk about who was the latest of many to borrow our ideas and pass them off on as their own, but it's ugly. It's wrong. It's just like, have some integrity, right? If you're going to take somebody else's idea, say, yeah, it was their idea. Two other quick no's for the Yankees. I keep hearing ideas. Maybe the Yankees should move Jazz Chisholm to third. The answer to that is no. Jazz Chisholm is not a third baseman. You cannot take a guy and play him out of position and expect good results at the major league level. It just doesn't work that way. We've been through that a lot. And I've been hearing talk about making Ben Rice the Yankee catcher. No. A catcher gets beat up. Ben Rice is having an amazing year. Leave him alone. Let him play first base and DH and let him stay there. He should never catch again. The guy is an offensive force. Let's not put him behind the plate where he's going to get worn down and risk big-time injury. All right. Woo, that was fun. The Yankees are winning. Good things are happening. Could this maybe, possibly, knock on wood, be the great year? Who knows? Love others, appreciate, be kind, do the right thing, and have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. This has been the Dr. Sem Yankee Show. Have a great day.